got a bit of a long question, so I'm going to read it out from my phone. And the question is, what are your thoughts on finding or retaining brand ambassadors? Should there be a limit to the amount in a particular field, or should it depend solely on their social media following? I love this question because I think brand ambassadors have changed significantly since the evolution of social media. Back in my corporate days, finding a professional, finding somebody famous or who had attention or an audience to become your ambassador was quite an expensive exercise, and it still is these days, depending on who it is. But what I love about ambassadors and social media in particular is that now, if you check out my video on micro-influencers, for instance, you'll hear about effectively getting the same result from lots of smaller ambassadors who have the attention of smaller audiences, but allowing you to do that at scale. So what we often find is that with typical ambassadorships, the investment required to drive an ambassador or to engage an ambassador will depend on their profile, their social status. For instance, if you wanted Kim Kardashian, you could imagine what that's going to cost, versus maybe an up-and-coming sports star. They're going to be a lot more cost-effective to engage. However, the beauty about social media and why I love the ambassadorship model is that what we should actually be doing as businesses is trying to make everybody that comes into contact with our business or your business an ambassador. So I'm reframing this is, instead of just thinking about who can you use to seed your business, it's how do you make your customers become the biggest advocates of your business? And how do you do that at scale? So for me, it's about the little things. It's about the experiences. It's about the conversations you have. It's the ways you touch them, either directly or indirectly. And I don't want it to sound weird, but we call it touches or marketing touches. That's what you want to do, is how do you, in front of your customers, either new or existing, how do you touch them in a way that enables them to become ambassadors for your brand? How do you get them to speak about it? So give them a reason to. That's where I would start when it comes to ambassadorships, first and foremost. Then if you're looking at leveraging some form of celebrity profile, then you want to assess what you're looking to achieve as a business and the type of people who you want the attention of. So if you find that you want the attention of 50 plus CEOs of multinational corporations, think about the sort of people that have their attention. Is it the guys from Australian Financial Review? Is it guys from Money Magazine? Is it Mark Bouris? Is it the high-end business people that have the attention? Maybe it's real estate agents that do business with. Maybe it's stockbrokers. Maybe it's investors. There could be a range of people who have the attention of that target audience. And then I would be looking out to talk to them and establish dialogue to figure out how you can create a mutually beneficial way of getting them to become ambassadors of your business. Likewise, if you have an interesting product, maybe you sell shoes, who would use those shoes? What does that audience look like? Where would those shoes be used? Understand again who has the attention of that market, and then work out ways to create brand ambassadors for those shoes. Maybe they're playing sports. Maybe they're just using the shoes socially. Maybe they're work boots. So are there people using it on site every day, and how do you get them to become advocates and ambassadors of your brand? And then helping them create the content, or working with them to create the content that you can then seed throughout their channels and your channels to demonstrate that ambassadorship. But again, I'm more of a fan these days, as opposed to going for the major sponsorship, the major guys throwing out hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. I just love the challenge of finding the micro-influencers, the smaller people who maybe their network is only this big, but those guys are going to be really focused, they're going to be really passionate, and they're going to talk so highly about your business and your brand that that's the best type of authentic ambassadorship you could ever ask for, as opposed to someone being purely remunerated to attach your brand to their personal brand. I hope that helps.